3, 2, 1, and 0, and liftoff.
Hey everyone, it's Greg Lafferty, the Rocket Guy Real Estate Investment Network. We talk about should you invest in real estate and why or why not. So this is what we generally talk about. And other real estate investment principles, because that's what we do around here. Don't ask me how to buy a put or an option on a piece of stock. I have no idea, but I can tell you how to buy an apartment complex or a commercial building. I can help you with that. You know, we've talked a little bit about the why and, you know, what's your why and different things, different aspects about real estate investment. So let's talk a little bit about the how, because I usually get a lot of questions when I go to different social events or I run into people around town and everything, and they go, how did you get started? You know, one of the questions usually comes about money, right? How did you find the money to do all this? And there's an old adage, you know, it takes money to make money. I'm not so sure. Of course, if you give me a few million, I could certainly multiply it. It makes it a whole lot easier. But does it mean that you have to have a few million to get started? And the answer is really not. You know, one of the nice things about mutual funds and paper assets and stocks and things like that is that it really doesn't take a whole lot to get started, and that's the appeal to the masses. Let's be honest. When people are trying to educate you about investing, different gurus out there, different people talking, you know, part of it is just, let's get started, right? Let's get started. People say, well, how do I start? Well, get started. Start at the beginning. Just do something, right? And sometimes the paper assets, because you can take $50 and you can buy a mutual fund or a share of stock, that kind of thing. It doesn't take a whole lot of money to get started. It's just an easy stepping stone to get started in investing, right? You can go and put $1 in your savings account, right? Easy, very low barrier or threshold to entry. Okay. So a lot of educators, when they're talking about investing, they start in the paper asset side because really they just want you to start with something. It's just start. Okay. If you're continually spending 1.2 times your earnings, you're not going in the right direction. Okay. So real estate, it does have a little bit higher barrier to entry. It really does. It's not a $50 start. And usually money is where people kind of get hung up. They sit there and they go, I mean, I can't go buy a $150,000 house. I don't have $150,000. Okay. You're right. And that's fine. But it doesn't take $150,000. That's not what we're talking about. So normally what it really does take, it doesn't take as much money as it takes education and a lot of hard work. That's really what it takes, because money is the stumbling block that people put in front of themselves. It's the wall. But education is the ladder that helps you climb the wall. It's the ladder that helps you get over those obstacles, because once you have a few tools in your tool belt, a few nuggets of knowledge, so to speak, that you can go and leverage and use to overcome the lack of money, then certainly you can get started, right? But it takes time and it takes hard work. There are tons of no money down techniques, okay? No money down. Let's use those in quotes. All right, no money down techniques. I started with those, ran the freight train almost off the track, okay, doing that. Very powerful techniques, very easy to get started. I bought condos with a credit card. I did seller financing. I did wraps. I did subject tos. I did all kinds of things that have these nice terms. In the end, what it means is that you got a lot of debt. You got to figure out how to pay that bill, okay, is what it really means. So, but it's a way that people can get into real estate without any money, okay, literally without any money. You can go no money down. You can even get the seller to pay for some closing costs and do some other things. Okay. Not what I would advise necessarily, but certainly out there. I would only advise it under extreme caution, because you have to do the math. You have to have your game plan together, and you have to have good education backing you. Okay. But certainly they're out there. There are lots of creative ways out there to use your IRA and 401k and home equity. And we're not going to peel those back today. But but there are ways that you can tap into these things that you already have and use those to help start your real estate investment train down the tracks, right? You really can. There's also private money lenders, hard money lenders, other sources of funds that you can access and tap into. It used to be back in the day before some of these terms came out, we used to call it the Friends and Family Fund, right? So go to Uncle Joe and ask him for $10,000 and see if he'll help you finance your next real estate transaction. So sometimes if things don't go so well, the old Thanksgiving dinner can be a little tricky with Uncle Joe if you don't pay him back. But they're, now that we have the internet as ubiquitous as it is, you can go out and find sources of money out there, crowdfunding, all that kind of stuff to help fund your real estate deal where people will all just gather up together and put in money, and then you go out and buy a piece of real estate and then share in those profits with those people. So certainly good ways to do that. You might even consider maybe starting with an active source. Greg, what's an active source? Okay, the goal in real estate investing is to generate passive income. That's the goal. Okay, a lot of people want to quit their jobs. I'm a real estate investor. I quit my job. Well, that's great, but how are you going to earn any money? Okay, you're certainly not going to earn enough to live on if you're getting $300 extra in rent. Okay, that's not going to work. So, but that is the long-term goal. Real estate is a long-term game. Okay, but as you're building that long-term gain, gaining those assets that will help you generate passive income, you might want to consider starting on more of the active side, which means I flip houses. So what does that mean? Like you dig it up and you roll it over? I flipped it upside down like a pancake. Okay, no, that's not what it means. It means to buy a piece of real estate, fix it up, improve it, do some value add, reposition it if you're in the commercial space. Always in the commercial space, they have to button up their tie and talk a little deeper and use longer words. So you can reposition the asset and then later sell it for more and then put the difference in your hip national bank. Okay. And you can do that. And an active side is a good complement to your passive goals, because if you are renovating and selling houses, then you can take those profits and then either reinvest those and buy more houses to renovate and sell, or you can reinvest that money into rental income generating assets, which is a great way to generate your passive income. Thanks for taking the time today to join us. We're always glad to have you at the Rocket Guy Real Estate Investment Network. I'm Greg Lafferty, the Rocket Guy, and you have a great day. We'll talk to you really soon.